Hello, everybody, and welcome. I am proud to be presenting this 2001 BMW 330xi Sports Sedan, finished in individual royal red. I believe that is only a color you could get on the E39 M5. So this car just presents so well with this glorious red color. Just to talk about a little bit of why I love these cars is not only of that super reliable, peppy naturally aspirated 3-liter inline six, but it's paired with the four-wheel drive. You have four doors, so enough room to carry everyone, all your friends, all your family. Let's go for a ride in my 3 Series. But it has the 5-speed. They're just so reliable. I've personally owned a 325 XI E46 Touring, very similar car. Suspension dynamics are awesome. You can hit the back roads, you can cruise on the highway, the gear ratio is great, and the reliability is just unbelievable. So just to talk about the history of this car, it came from a local gentleman in our area. I believe he is the third owner now. The first owner, not registered on the United States databases, drove 25 miles in this car in Taiwan. It was then imported here, and then there was a couple service records noted on the Carfax you guys can look at. A couple things to note: some, I believe, cooling parts replaced, the alternator and oil changes on time. So this car was very well maintained, and it shows and presents as you guys will see. So now let's move into the cosmetic condition of this car, which is just fabulous. I would actually like to say this is probably one of the cleanest E46s I have ever seen in person. So coming up to the front end, you can see there's slight abrasion on some points of the front bumper, such as here, and a little bit of rock chipping along here on this kind of black vinyl. You'll see some of the paint missing down here, but other than that, the bumper looks good. There isn't much scratching. This is a little bit of a lower car as it is a 3 Series. Other than that, the headlights are absolutely crystal clear. This is an '01, so it's the pre-facelift, but it's the sport headlights with these xenons that are just awesome. They're much brighter than some of the other models, and I think they just look very good as well. Instead of having two bulbs, you have this xenon bulb here, and you can see these lines coming through. Everything's just very crystal clear. The front grills are amazing. The chrome is all there. You have the full chrome grills with the black innards, and look at this BMW roundel just standing out. Such a cool contrast compared to the red there. But yeah, everything else in the front bumper is in very good condition. The fog lights, the lower bumper, the grills, the headlights. You have the front sprayers because this is a winter packaged car. So you have front sprayers that do work, and they spray windshield wiper fluid out onto your front headlights if it's cleared up. A little bit of a scratch here as well, maybe from a rock. Wanted to point that out for you guys. Very minuscule. But the hood is in excellent condition. There's no major scratches. We'll get out of the way of the shadow here so you guys can see. The flake just pops when the sun comes down onto this hood. We have a little bit of a hairline scratch here and here, but it's quite hard to tell. You have to come very close to the car to see it. The front sprayers also work and are in great condition. You have this vent here that is paint matched that looks just awesome, and these kind of lines that come here on the hood that are very prominent and show this aggressive look. Coming over to the driver side front fender, we also have this separated side light here for the turn signal in great condition, and it is that amber color, which is US spec, but this whole fender is in awesome condition. I don't see any major dents or dings or scratches, just a little bit of abrasion here. Maybe someone was leaning over the car to work on the engine or replace something. We have our side marker light, and we have our trim here all in great condition. Sometimes you'll see sun fading, but not on this car. It looks just great. One thing to also point out, it's pre-facelift, so you have the continuation of this body line that goes all the way down. Post-facelift, it would be separated here, kind of stopping. I love the look of this pre-facelift. So we have down here also our driver side front wheel. We have Continentals. Let's look for a date code here. They're Continental Extreme Context 205 50 17, so you have 17s in the front. DOT, we're looking at 0314. So these are old tires. The tread isn't so bad for a 10-year-old tire, and I don't see any dry rotting. This car was garage kept, which shows all the way around the car, and shows sometimes, you know, outside cars you'll see dry rotting and cracking in the tire, but not on this, but I would recommend to get new tires. The rotors look good as well. Through a portion of the driving video that we've done, there wasn't any shaking or pull on the rotors. They look good, and we do have meat on those pads, and also the center caps of the wheels looks awesome. I don't know any big curbing, just a little bit of marking from the brake dust. But without further ado, let's move up to the top section here. We'll talk about the windshield, which is in great condition. We haven't found many or any rock chips on this windshield. We have a kind of blue hue over the top half, and it's the original OEM BMW windshield with these dottings here, and all this sealing for the windshield looks great. Wipers are in great condition. They look like almost the OEM spec BMW wipers that have those guards there in the front, and they work awesome. Same with this rain guard. It's not cracked at all. And then continuing up with the A-pillar, all the chrome trim, which just pops over this red, is in great condition. It just looks brand new. In this mirror, there's a couple bugs, maybe a little bit of scratching, not even that I can really point out, just mostly road debris and bugs there. Looks great, and this side plastic also looks great. Driver window is crystal clear and not cracked, and all the seals are where they need to be and not cracked either. Closes and functions as intended. Driver door looking great. A little bit of abrasion on the side here. This side trim it's what it's meant for, is to actually stop things from coming and hitting. A little bit of a brush up. Let's see if I can even remove that. Maybe some scratch doctor will fix that. You can barely see it if you look close. There it is. But some abrasion on this side panel here. Lower side skirts look good. There's not a lot of road debris kicked up here, which you see and tend to see paint degradation around this area. Same with the rear, just from road debris being kicked up, but this one is actually very clean. Overall, the whole door looks very nice. Maybe a little bit of almost paint missing on the door handle there, but very speck on the grass net straws here. Just a small speck there. But other than that, the ceiling looks good, and the door looks great overall. Moving to the rear driver's side passenger door, also in great condition, no dents. Body lines look awesome, and that paint just reflecting and glowing looks just awesome. The trim is also in great condition. A little bit of that same almost paint. I can't even tell if it's paint missing or if it's paint that has been touched onto the car. I'm thinking more now towards that paint has been touched onto the car, but we'll work at getting that off. Yeah, okay, it just rubs off. So sorry about that, but that goes away. So this is actually in perfect condition as well. Same with the rear section of the lower side skirt. And window here for the driver's side looks awesome. All this chrome trim, like I said, I just love it, and it goes all the way down the side there. And now we're talking about the roof and the sunroof. No major scratches or dents or dings. Maybe from where the sunroof kind of lays on here, there's a little bit of abrasion of the paint, but sunroof with the up tilted position adds for that aggressive look. And you have slots to have a roof rack put in place with these paint matched covers there. Everything looking very good. Now back to the driver's side quarter panel. Looks very good. I don't see any big dents or dings either. Maybe a little bit of scratching here, but very minuscule. And down to the driver's side rear wheel. No curbing, just a little bit of brake dust, and these Conti contacts with a DOT of 0314, so it's going to look like 14s all the way around. Rotors looking good, and pads looking good. The roundel in its right spot, and these lug bolts also look great. So we'll move back to the aft section of the quarter panel. We have our tail light, which is crystal clear. I mean, this car basically just looks factory fresh. It's so cool to see all this stuff in this good of condition. No water leaking through or anything like that. No cracks. Rear bumper down here, minor road debris that's been kicked up and marred it just a tad, but awesome condition. And yeah, we'll move around to the exhaust pipes as well as we're down low, and lower rear diffuser with this plastic trim that just looks very cool. These chrome tips, single-sided dual exit, and this rear bumper also in great shape. This black trim continuing all the way around, no sun fading. It's almost a little bit of abrasion, but I wouldn't even imagine that that's from bumping into something. That's more of just something kind of probably being leaned over and into the trunk, which this car does have good trunk space. And talking about the trunk, we have our trunk lid, which is in also great condition. I don't see any major scratches whatsoever. BMW roundel looking great, no fading there. And this piece, you also see separation on other examples, but this one is in pristine condition. Same with the plate and the plate holder, and around that area looking just good. With our key lock for the trunk, also looking good. And badging 330xi with that chrome original look on that red just looks awesome. To the taillight, which is equally as good as the other side. For the passenger side, just looking awesome on the inner and the outer. Super clear, and lower of the right side on the passenger. Rear bumper equally as nice. The toe cover there, paint matched, looking awesome. And now we'll talk about the rear glass, which is crystal clear and no cracks, no delamination of the ceiling. None of this wiring for the integrated heating of the rear windshield is missing, and it just, it's in almost perfect condition. Now we're over to the rear section of the passenger side quarter panel. We have a little bit of brush up here with some, actually just abrasion from passing by, so that goes away. So disregard that, but a little hairline scratch here, but the whole panel itself just looks great. Fuel door in great condition. Maybe a little bit of a scratch here from a fuel nozzle coming in and nicking it there. Very minor. We have a little bit more of abrasion here, just overall on this whole kind of side, the right side fender. We have kind of scratching that continues along here and through here. Maybe it brushed up against something. A little bit more aggressive back here, coming through the paint just a tad, but that again might be just from brushing up. And a little bit of maybe what we have to be touch up here. This is a common spot for rust on these cars, as there's metal clips underneath. So maybe somebody did some repair here, which looks good. I actually just noticed that for the first time. Down to the passenger side rear wheel and tire. Wheel looks excellent. It's a nice silver finish. Not much paint missing at all. Maybe a little bit of scratching there from a mounting at one point, but the rotor and pads look good. Continental extreme contacts again with good tread, but they're the same DOT 14. This is 03 of 14, third week of 2014. Now up to the rear passenger side window trim and window, and now upper of the roof here, all in great condition. No notes whatsoever there. Just looking fabulous, shining in the sun. But we'll talk about the glass, which looks excellent. No delamination or separation of the seal here. This black trim looks great, and this chrome continuing all the way around. Super shining in the sunlight, and I love to see it. Now down to the door. Same thing, where we kind of have this white, almost this white kind of, not sure what it is, but there's a little bit of white stuff there on the door. Same with the other side. Continuing down, nice clean paint, nice clear paint, and nice trim. No abrasions on this side. And yeah, that just looks nice. Down to the lower side skirt, we have a continuation of almost that same scratchy thing. I'm not sure if it passed by something, but it's a little bit here as well, but no major marks through the paint, not that I see here. Just kind of continues through here. Light scratching, but overall is in very good condition. Driver side door, window is clear, non-cracked, looks great. Window trim looks awesome, and the seal is very supple and nice. Upper part of the passenger side roof continuing around just looks awesome. Sunroof on this side looks excellent as well. And now we'll talk about the door, which is in great condition. A little bit of marking here. Oh, goes away just from something passing by. Sorry about that. But yeah, no other notes. It looks great. A little bit of abrasion maybe here. But I'm very, looking for the small scratches, because this car overall cosmetically presents very well. Lower side skirt in the front here on the passenger side also looking very good. While we're down here, let's also talk about, we have a little bit of what looks like as well the same rust repair as where these metal clips hold these side skirts and fenders and bumpers in. It rusts behind, and somebody did a repair there with the paint match. So that's one thing to note. While we're here, we'll talk about these side markers, which look great. This trim that looks great. Overall front driver fender looks awesome. No mentions there. Maybe a little bit of, nope. Slow road, small hairline scratch through the paint there where my thumb is. And then we'll talk about the A-pillar and mirror, which is in great condition. This is mostly just road debris there. The whole mirror looks awesome, and A-pillar looks great. Passenger side of the windshield also is in great condition. No big chips, I don't see any. And that windshield trim looks awesome. Same with the rain guard. And we'll talk about this wheel to finish off the exterior cosmetic notes on this car. Everything is good. Just one gash here. These wheels, passenger front wheel is typically the one to have the most damage out of all used cars. So we do have some curbing here. This is the only wheel that I see that has a little bit of curbing here and here, but the rest of the wheel on this section is very clean. The face looks great. Roundel looks great. Rotors look good, and we have some meat on the pads. Same with the Continental Extreme Contacts DOT 03 2014. So 2014 was the date that all the tires came from. But yeah, so the overall exterior condition is awesome on this car. And without further ado, let's go to the interior. All right, let's dive into the interior. So this is a sport sedan. So we have the sport steering wheel, and we have these sport seats. It's finished in this tan color with that black dashboard, which just looks awesome. We'll talk about the door. Just a little bit of a missing dye there on the leather, just from use over the years. Overall, the door looks great and is in good condition. Walnut trim with the chrome handles. We have the Harman & Kardon speakers, which just look awesome. The Harman Kardon logo. Kick plates look good. We have our stickers here for our VIN and our PSI. Other than that, everything looks great. We'll talk about the shift boot and shift knob, which is in great condition. You see those cracking a lot. It's matched to the walnut trim. The handbrake, all the buttons and switches looking good. And center console, which a lot of times in these cars you will see cracked because they have those plastic mounts. But this one is just functional. We have this coin holder here, which is cool as well. Love the E46 design. So we'll go hop back to the driver's side, rear seat and door. I mean, look at this interior. It just looks practically completely unused in the rear. I wouldn't even imagine that somebody sat back here. No cosmetic flaws that I'm seeing. Carpet looks good, seat back looks good, door looks good, seat bottoms, kick plates. A lot of times you'll see these get kicked off, especially on E46s. They have a mount in here, and this is in just great condition. But also we'll talk about the headliner as we're back here, because you can kind of see the whole car. Also all pinned up, not sagging anywhere, and all those hands all in the right spot. So we'll move to the trunk. And back here we have additional floor mats, WeatherTech lining, which looks good, but underneath we have perfect condition carpeting. And this car is packaged with the navigation and the BMW 6CD channeler for the Harman & Kardon sound system, which you can see our two Harman & Kardon subwoofers are back here, just looking awesome. And we have our tire compartment down there. I'll have to remove this, so we'll get into that and take a photo, show you guys another time. But we have our BMW roadside assistance and toolkit in here, slowly twisting, and comes down with our tire iron, tow hook, Hayco original BMW tools, and a 10 mil. Everyone needs a 10 mil. Yeah, everything looking good. All the trunk lining in its right spot. Passenger side, rear. Again, perfect condition on this rear interior. Nothing really to note. Carpeting, seat backs, seats themselves, seat belts, headliner, door trim, looking all magnificent. And now for the wife's seat or girlfriend's seat or best friend's seat, we have the passenger side. Look at that dash. Very clean, no cracking. All the leather is still there, and it's not dry. It's quite supple still. Nice feel to it. We have our walnut trim continuing all the way through to the center console, which is navigation paired in 01. It's quite rare to see that. So this is your screen here if you don't know what that was. And you BMW fanatics, yes, we do have the original flashlight in here, and it does work, as you can see. BMW flashlight, love that. Glove box not sagging or anything. And these electric seats all in working condition all the way around. Making it fully adjustable. And the leather looks quite good. You have a little bit of creasing on the passenger side and the driver's side. No major staining, no rips, no tears, no seams missing. It just is in great condition for the year. And again, also the whole door looks just great. And now we'll move to the 3-liter M54 B30, which is the engine of this beautiful car. It's an inline-6 naturally aspirated motor with VANOS, which is basically variable valve timing. So you pop the hood once with the latch, and then you have our little tab here, which you pull up. No big snaps or anything. Nice smoothly through there. And look at this engine bay, just gorgeous. Nothing really to note. We have all of our plastic pieces without a crack. A lot of these times you see these tabs missing on higher mileage cars. No major coolant leaks in the front here. That's one fault in this car that will happen over the years. But nothing here, no signs of any coolant leaks. We have our reservoir in the right spot. We have our oil filter housing unstripped. Our manifold looks great. Our air box is stock, and everything is plugged in with all of our nice band clamps. Nothing missing, nothing zip tied together. I mean, look at these clips. These clips are never there. They're always broken. Same thing under here. Everything looking good. And our placarding here, BMW individual Royal Metallic, which is Royal Rot. Rot means red in German. I'm 90% sure. But also the interior, or the bottom of the hood here with all of our lining that's in the right spot, all of our original OEM BMW screws and specifications up here, and then that's for the sprayers, the front sprayers there, and our ABS system looks all good. Everything about the engine bay checks all boxes. So now that you've seen the engine, let's go hear the engine and we'll go for a drive. So let's hop in. We'll start with a cold start before we go on our drive here. It's about probably 75 degrees outside, but this car we've had absolutely zero issues, thank you for the keys, with this car on cold days. Something like there. So we have our inspection there that needs to be reset and go through into ignition mode. All the lights come on. We have our nav on here, clutch in, into neutral, and like it's brand new. Clutch coming off, and nice at our cold idle of just under 1,000 RPM. Listen to that engine note. Sounds quite nice. Sounds quite nice. So now that we're all ready to go, we're gonna let it warm up a bit and we'll go for a drive. Okay, so now that we're inside the car while it's warming up, which this car has the winter package, so we're gonna talk about some of the things that are included with the winter package, which is front sprayers, headlight sprayers, and you have a fast warm-up system that exists within the intake manifold. So this car warms up quite fast, even on the coldest of days. You also have a, I guess not a heated steering wheel. It's not that far into it, but you have front heated seats is what it was. So you have the front heated seats with 3 modes. You have driver and passenger front heated seats. We're going to test the air conditioning here because it's hot and it's getting hot in here. So we have the cold mode on here. And funny thing about E46s and most BMWs, this top knot, this, I don't even know what forgetting the word on this, but this control here controls the entire temperature of the air conditioning system, so I can have it on 3 cold, and that is already blowing very, very cold here with all the vents. Feeling just good, so we'll turn that down at 60, and we'll go and test the heat just for you guys in colder climates. Go up here and blow hot and switch this guy, I guess control wheel we'll call it, to heat. I'll let that come out. It might take a little bit to heat up. But other than that, we have our radio and GPS, and the GPS screen does work. You have your control here on the right knob, so you can GPS navigation and such. Town of Sharon, that's close by. That's where the car came from, so I'll do that. But to turn on the radio, so go back here. There we go. You click this knob here. 98.1 is on.
First year, I don't even know if we can golf carts. Now we're sort of like...
Okay, so we can hear that. Nice. And we have our cruise control here on the right side of our controls. We'll test that. We have our volume adjustment that works, obviously. I go down, and then BMW voice controls and channel switch here which, let's see, that works. I click it, it goes to 107. I'll turn the volume up, and it turns up. We have our windshield wipers that work, and they have auto detecting with the speed adjustment here. Bring that down, turn signals work, and we can run through our digital display. We have no engine lights on at all, but here, 197 miles, indicating for our range, we're at 33,000 miles. Turn that radio off, and 32.5 mile per hour average, which we can reset, and we have 3:17 p.m. there, which is correct, and all of our lights indications work. This changes color when you go to the full headlight mode. It goes into kind of a night mode, but we'll just go with lights off because it's bright outside, and we'll test the sunroof real quick. So it was in the tilted up position, which is the number 1. This is the number 2 position, and then number 3, which is closed. And I know E46s are common for this thing getting stuck, but it moves freely. There's no special sport mode for this vehicle. We have our 5-speed manual gearbox, and the clutch just feels great starting off. Very user-friendly. I'm a taller guy as well, and I can't say I'm not used to this driving on an E46. A lot of traffic here today. Let's go left here. And clutch just feels awesome, which it should for this many miles. Grabs nice in 6th gear. Our mile per gallon consumption gauge does work, and it's quite peppy. It's quite peppy. Go through 3,000 into 4th. Let's give a quick downshift, and our left turn here. Brakes feel good. No vibration, no pulling to either side, which is good indication of nice suspension parts. Also, without forgetting, let's test our automatic mirrors, which go back and forth. In these cars, if you have it switched to the left side, when you put it in reverse, the right one comes down and sometimes doesn't come up, so we'll test that as well. And then our right side automatic mirror does work. Sorry for the wind noise. That rear window doesn't want to come up, so we're going to try and pay for that. But let's give it some gas through 4,000 RPM there. Feeling nice and smooth and steady. It's not jolting at all. Into 5th gear. So we're cruising at 2,500 RPM at 60 miles an hour. So that can give you a good idea on where this car is going to be on the highway. You know, at highway speeds just below 3,000. That's all you need. You don't, a lot of cars of this era with the 5-speed, you'll be sitting at 3,500 RPM just to keep up with a lot of the cars on the highway and traffic. But this one, no, you are hanging out in 5th gear. It's 01, so it came with a 5-speed instead of the 6-speed that the later 330s came with. But this turn-in just feels awesome. And remind you, we have 4-wheel drive BMW Dynamics, which I believe goes more of a 60-40 rear bias, for the transfer case and such. So it doesn't take away from that BMW rear-wheel drive classic feeling, but you definitely have that front grip. The shocks just feel great. We have this cool car here. I'm sure we know this guy in front of us, holding us back a little bit. But other than that, I mean, the car just feels great. It's nice and smooth. It's not pulling to either side for the alignment or such. We can test this interior glowing lights when we go to our parking lamps, which glows the side marker lights and the front turn signals. This guy going really slow in front of me here. But all these lights on the 330 speedometer and tachometer just looks awesome. Nice glow feeling. And at nighttime you'll have this orange hue that comes down from these center lights that illuminates the reflective shift knob. And it just looks awesome in this cockpit at nighttime with all this orange retro lighting. Everything's very ergonomic, so it's faced towards me, and everything's functional. I can definitely daily this thing. I could go to work in this thing every morning, even when it's snowing outside. I wouldn't put salt on this guy because they like the car in front of us. If you're driving, you don't have a car like that in front of you, they'll be clapping at this car. So it definitely turns heads for how clean it is, which is why I wouldn't drive it in the winter. But to each their own. This would be a nice winter daily for all of you sports car fanatics. We can take a left here and clear this gentleman. So into 2nd gear, clutch grabbing just great, turning looks good. Let's give it some acceleration. So it wakes up at 3,500 RPM at 75% throttle. just that classic BMW engine note. And it's not a slow car. It's not a slow car at all. You don't need to go much faster, especially on, off of a racetrack. It is a little floaty. We're on stock suspension. There's OEM plus parts you can get for the car if you want to kind of diminish that float, so to say, from the ride height being, as a normal daily. This road is really bumpy and definitely has some gravel, but the car powers through it. In a normal stiffer car or a car with blown shocks, we'd be really feeling these bumps, but it's a nice smooth ride. I wasn't aware that they actually stripped the pavement off of this road before I took it, so sorry car, but it's a good trial, I guess, to show you all that this car is a nice daily car that doesn't need any attention to any of the suspension components, as far as we know, and it just feels great. Just cruising along in my 330. I don't think there's much more to note. Once we get to the bottom of this road, I'll show you a little bit more of an acceleration, a little bit of a faster turn, and that will just show, I guess, the finale of the dynamics of what BMW was looking for when they were creating a sports sedan, and something at this price point that you can kind of get and either give to your kids as a safe car. You have airbags all around, four-wheel drive, learn manual in it. And it's good for the road. These cars will go 250,000 miles plus on this engine. Of course, if you take care of it, which this one has been taken care of. I'm just such an advocate for these cars. Just so awesome. And coming through roll here, we'll give it a little more gas through second gear. Just listen to that note. It shifts so smooth. The throw is nice. The bushings feel great. There's braking action, and that turn in sinks in. You can just power through. I'm not ripping through the RPMs either. I'm staying 3,500, 4,000 at most. Look at this guy riding along. Yeah, it just feels great. It just feels great. Wouldn't change a thing for a daily. Yeah, I guess that covers just about everything for the 330xi Sport Sedan with 5-speed in this lovely color. Enjoying this lovely day. So I hope you guys have the best of luck and have enjoyed the video as much as we've enjoyed filming it. This is a really special car, and is going to make someone quite happy to have such a clean example of an E46. But yeah, thank you guys very much, and best of luck with the auction. See ya.